Welcome everybody to Phandom Knights, where we break down pop culture one fandom at a time. I'm Chris.
I'm Dustin.
And I'm Sherman.
And today we're talking about Wandavision, Season 1, Episode 6. All new Halloween Spooktacular. I read through the synopsis last time. I don't think we should do that. We should just kind of go through the episode. What did you guys think of this episode this week? Sherman?
I crapped myself.
At what point?
So
the
many
entire time?
Dude, what the heck?
Dig it to TikTok, guys. Alright, go ahead.
There's a few things. Where do we even start on this episode, man?
Just overall, what do you think of the episode?
Oh.
Great?
Overall,
Best ever?
Amazing.
Awesome?
Like we were talking about before we even started recording. They're getting better as they go on.
Yeah. On one hand, they're getting better as they go on, and on the other hand, just my whole conspiracy theory on the first episode, I'm like, it's not what I wanted, but it's better than I could have ever planned for.
This episode is like solidifying like my full on theory that yes, we are going to be seeing Mephisto at some point.
I think that's totally just that's like a red herring.
Later why
it's a red herring.
I don't think it's a red herring.
It's a silver herring given to you during trick or treat by a weird Sokovian woman. That's what it is.
Well, that was a pickled herring, but okay.
Can Mephisto? Can he turn into other people?
I'm not entirely sure.
I saw a meme last
powers?
night after watching it, and it was like me after reading all the WandaVision theories. Am I Mephisto? Everyone is Mephisto in this stupid thing.
Well, because Mephisto is in the comics is just as bad as Thanos, if not worse. So if they introduced him as
devil.
Yeah.
But
if they introduced him as a big bad, an actual
the devil
big bad
as their main enemy, it's the MCU. They're trying to
appeal
to kids. What parents are going to take their kids? Oh yeah, let's go watch that movie about the devil. I don't think they're going to do that.
WandaVision is not for kids.
But
I don't think
be the
a
Marvel.
No. Hold on. I think you're completely wrong. It's for the children.
That just appeared out of nowhere.
No. Dude, okay, so sorry. When he said that, when he's like, where have you been keeping all these kids this whole time? I'm like, what?
I love how they this show they ask the questions that we've been asking the whole time. And then they don't answer it. They do it in a way you're like, but you didn't give me anything there. Right? But you answered it. I don't know how you did that. So let's just talk about the kids.
So hold on real quick. So did you take notes as you were watching it?
Yeah, I was watching.
Okay. We'll go through the episode then because I did the exact same.
Yeah, I kind of do it. Malcolm in the Middle. That's what
this whole show wrote that down before I even looked online and anything, and everybody's like, "Oh, they had total Malcolm in the Middle."
For sure. Rosie and I have been watching through Full House and Malcolm in the Middle, back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
Not because of this, but just because I'm like, oh, Malcolm in the Middle was a good show and it's kind of funny and whatever. And so they did the Full House kind of intro sort of last week, and then now they're doing Malcolm in the Middle. And Rosie had never seen Malcolm in the Middle, so she's like, oh. I understood that reference when I saw this episode.
Steve Rogers total. Yeah. I get that reference.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was freaking out when he showed that he had his speed during the intro.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because he's zipping around and it says Pietro Maximoff as himself.
Yeah, I
was like, he's just running around willy nilly.
Yeah, but they kind of did that in the early '90s, the fast I don't know. I'm thinking of Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin's running all around his house. They do that type of stuff. But do you guys have anything about the intro specifically?
I wrote down the words that they were singing and stuff that. And they said, through each distorted day, though there may not be no way of knowing who's coming by to play.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's just kind of telling us someone's coming by or
something. I thought that too. There were theories I saw online that it was literally just referencing that Pietro shows up at the end of the last episode, so you never know who's going to show up.
Is coming.
I was thinking that too. Somebody else is popping up.
Someone else
the big cameo still hasn't going to happen.
Right.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And they have 3 episodes left?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
Wait, no, it's 10 episodes, right?
I think it's 9 actually.
I think
it's next week.
I thought you said
we
it was
get
10.
1. I thought it was, but it's next week we get 1, and then the following week we get 2. I think
that's got to be the end.
And then we go right into Winter Soldier and stuff. So, yeah.
I'm excited still.
We got 2 more weeks, and then we got the whole thing. Did you write down the other word? Because there's a chorus. I think there's keep it going, or something like that. Or keep... But basically keep the illusion.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, the whole.
I just thought this was
all the lyrics were just really.
Which I like that. So with the previous episode and this episode, their intro theme has taken the place of like adding in like a extra song. Because like throughout both episodes, they don't have like a pop song or like some type of like other like audio like looped in with the episode. Because like you had Yakety Yak, help me Rhonda,
yeah.
like nothing like that for these 2 episodes.
Yeah, and they don't have anything.
Yeah.
Interesting. But the intro thing is kind of doing the both of them, and you kind of have to do that because you're going back and forth between real life, and so you have to condense what's happening on the TV show a little bit.
All right.
So then, open credits ends. What do you guys think of like seeing Billy like in his costume already?
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was so happy because I've seen all the pictures online of what Wiccan and Speed look like. So I'm like, they're in their costumes right there. It's so cool.
I felt kind of crappy because I was like, oh man, Tommy, you just suck right now. Like you're not in a costume.
Well, and then when Pietro comes back and they have their hair like in that weird way,
yeah, I'm
like, man, this just goes to show that you cannot do comic book images in real life. It just doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't. And that's why this episode specifically works so well is because they were doing it in Halloween. So, but Pietro, I'm more familiar with the Ultimates Pietro, where he has his slick back hair, but then he has 2 like strands going back, like long ones, super long ones. In the main comics, he just has like the 2 like mustache almost up on top of his head. But in the Ultimate ones,
or
is it
closer to like devil horns?
What does he say later on? He's like, run around here, or get over there, Satan spawn, or something like
Unleash
that.
hell, demon spawn.
Yeah, demon spawn.
Which is so spot on.
To the comics, yeah.
I know.
And I saw when Wanda said that she's a Sokovian fortune teller. That was playing on her mom being, I think. I saw some video.
Don't make fun of people's moms.
Don't make fun of your mom.
This is a family show.
Make fun of your mom and your mom. Jeez. And my mom.
Your mom would probably already laugh about it.
Oh yeah. I make fun of her every day. And she makes fun of me. That's what makes our relationship so fun.
So yeah, costume is exactly like the comic books. Yeah, I put Wanda's fortune teller, quote unquote. It just seemed like way too spot on for the comics, but I'm like, I get it.
These are like straight from the
right.
I like
her headgear looks so good. Like not like cheap like Vision's costume did.
I know. At first I thought it looked cheap. A booger.
Traffic light. A booger.
Yes. Dude, when Vision came down in his costume too, and he's like, it was the only thing in my closet. Oh. Anyways, and he like looks so serious. You're like, dude,
and then he
ticked.
put it off.
Right? He's so pissed.
He's so mad. He's like, you are making me do something I don't want to do. I look like a booger.
Well, I guess I'll play along because the kids are here.
And did you notice, like, when Vision and Wanda were talking about Pietro being a great, kid role model or whatever, he's like, great with kids. And then it pans to Pietro and his thumb is down. And then it pans back and his thumb is back up.
What?
Yeah. Look that over.
I don't know what that means. Maybe that was just
I think it's just a continuity thing.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was worth mentioning.
Weird.
Oh, yeah. So then Vision says he's going to, like, go do patrol or whatever.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. And Vision's like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me?
But she doesn't get the word do out. She's like, that's not what you're supposed to
do.
What?
Nah.
But it's cool though because like on the real life level, like as a married couple, like sometimes you say stuff like that, not as forceful as that, but like, no, you said you were going to do this, not that, and like you said you were going to take the kids to do this, and instead of but
well, like, not only that, but like
and sometimes it's worded like you're not supposed to do that right now, but in this it's like you're not supposed to do that right now. Whoa.
But like, so I mean, with coronavirus, obviously, like kind of threw it out the window, but like. Say next year we're able to like go out trick or treating and whatnot. Like, what would happen if you're like, no, I'm gonna go for a walk out on the street, and like you told that to Rosie, she'd be like, what? You're not gonna take Ray out for like her?
You're not gonna take her out or stay home and give the kid? Okay, you're just gonna go. Oh, all right, whatever.
I'm gonna go patrol the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which I legitimately, I didn't see that coming, like, where he was going to explore Westview.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought he was actually going to, like, and then when Herb shows up and he's like, yeah, no,
I
he
thought
hasn't met out.
I thought he was going to go onto the neighborhood watch.
I personally didn't think so.
I knew that, I was hoping that this episode was going to be the episode where he flies above the town and all this stuff happens. And then it gets even crazier than I thought it was going to get. Like, anytime someone leaves the bubble, I'm just like, I have no idea what's going to happen right now. I love it.
I wish they would have shown him, like, fly up at least a little bit in his crappy costume before, like, instead of, like, changing and then flying up, because I was like, man, that would have been so funny.
When we were watching it, Rosie's like, what's he dressed up as? And I'm like,
himself?
Vision.
And I'm like, and then as soon as he transformed into his like normal looking costume out of his Halloween costume, I'm like, see, his cape's kind of yellow. It's like, it's the same colors. It just looks
different,
cartoony.
Modern.
Yeah, right.
So as Vision was leaving the house, he told Wanda to be good.
Yeah. I know.
Which I think is obviously, like, don't hurt people.
Oh, right?
This whole episode shows the empathy that Vision does have and how he is a hero. He is selfless. Like,
oh, yeah.
This is skipping ahead, but later on when he's, like, dying, he says, help. And then he's like, no, help them. They need help.
These people need
help. So he's not calling for help for himself. He's trying to get out of this bubble to help the other people. Like, that's why he's doing it. It's like, whoa.
Which
are a good guy.
Realistically goes farther into, like, why in Age of Ultron he can pick up Thor's hammer. He's so worthy of that.
Right, because he's just he's programmed
he's so
to be selfless.
Yeah.
I suppose that comes from being Jarvis too, because he never took care of himself. He always took care of Tony.
Yeah.
Always taking care of other people.
So at this point, when like Billy looks at the camera and does the cutaway and, like, says, like, mom and dad have been, like, not necessarily, like, fighting, but like
just different,
especially since, like, Uncle Peter came or whatever. And, like, did you guys notice that Pietro noticed the cutaway? Like, he looks at Billy like, what are you doing? Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Whoa.
He looks at him like, give him, like, the
that.
quizzical kind of look, like, what is up
That's
here?
Awesome. Huh?
Yeah,
because he's in the background. I love the, like, single camera shots that they do all through this. Like, where
they use multiple cameras.
Well, it's shot as, like, a single camera show where, like, Pietro's sleeping on the couch and it's, like, his face with the kids in the background. And I saw this thing where, like, it takes a special lens to do that because you have two different focal points that you're focused on, and they're very intentionally making it look like.
For that exact point, I actually wrote that down. I was like, "What's with the light distortion?"
Because it's a weird lens that has, like, two different focal points.
I just thought it was, like, something about, like, him, but, like,
no.
Because, like, around his body, it, like, gets, like, blurry.
Because it's focused on two things. And all the middle stuff is blurry. But that portion too, I was trying to watch his face really closely because I'm like, is he gonna, like, wake up and, like, where the heck am I? And then, like, get reprogrammed all of a sudden.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And freaky at the same time.
Did you guys notice the tattoo that was on his arm?
Mom.
Yeah. See, when I first watched it, I didn't catch what it said. It looked like a mom tattoo. And then I watched the video and someone said it could be HOM, House of M. But then I clearly saw the MOM, and I was like, nah, that's not it.
Well, the funny part is, like, that's his actual tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
That's Evan Peters. His actual tattoo says "Mom" right on his shoulder.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny.
But so many people were reading into it. They're like, "Hold on, are we talking about, like, a bunch of different?" There were, like, 4 different, like, theories.
And he's like, "No, I just like my mom."
So it kind of doesn't come up till later. It's just really cool because I like this movie. But the movie Kick-Ass,
I saw that. Yeah,
was referenced in this movie
twice.
Evan Peters and Aaron Tyler Johnson both star in the movie, and then they both are Quicksilver. It's just super cool.
I didn't know that until I saw it.
And then Wanda's like, Kick-Ass?
Right?
I know, that was such a weird, like, just throwaway line, but it kind of made sense.
It had to be in the reference for that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's no other way or reason for it.
Yeah.
Somebody in the writing room is just like, dude, we got to put this in here.
We have to acknowledge that this happened.
Right?
Yeah. Best
buds playing the same character in 2 different production companies.
So this was the part where they had Quicksilver, he takes Tommy and gets, like, the matching outfits. And I liked the Top Gun reference where, like, we have a need, The Need for Speed,
Yeah.
which is funny because like Top Gun, like the bro kind of moment, but like Tommy's comic character name is Speed.
Oh, yeah,
and like
that. I don't know why I didn't pick that up.
We have
little tiny things, man.
Wait, did you say we have a what?
We have a need.
That's the need
for
speed. So
yeah.
maybe there's we need speed.
Oh, maybe
like we need him.
I do appreciate.
Hey, don't laugh!
Show.
It's a meta show, Chris.
I do appreciate with this show. There's literally not a wasted line. You just know that they've analyzed and scrutinized every second of not just film.
I'm kind of curious how many writers they have on the show. I'm gonna look at the credits.
It's either like 500 or one. Just one crazy.
No. It's probably like literally like 5 guys in a room be like, no. Hold on. You remember this part from this movie reference, which could lead to this? Right. It's Charlie Day from Always Sunny. He's like, no. We gotta put this in here, right here.
Well, that's why they included stuff like that in the show, like the crazy conspiracy board, because the writers have to have that too in order to write the show.
I imagine if it's like a room of like 5 guys, the 5th guy's like, hold on. Can we just throw like a red herring in here? Just like literally throw people on like a goose chase.
After we get that opening scene, we cut to like actual reality with director Hayward and stuff like that. And he was telling Monica that he essentially survived the blips, and she has no idea what it took to keep the lights on.
Yeah, like how dark it was during. It
like,
kind of
blippers have too much luxury of optimism.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
You guys have the luxury of optimism. Like, you had no idea what it took to keep the
this.
lights on. Too much luxury of optimism.
Yeah.
So,
so I marked down his exact quote on this. So when they're walking through the hall, he says, "Now we know who we're dealing with." Like after after they bring that drone in. Right. So I was like, is he saying what we can see as far as to how far he's willing to go? Like, not necessarily how like we know who we're dealing with when it comes to Wanda, but like, can we understand like more what he's willing to do, or like who he is and what we're gonna see from him?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I just put, what a dick.
But it would be very hard to get through those 5 years. Half the population's gone. Like, you have half the electrical engineers that keep the lights on. Literally, you have half the
anyone who does maintenance on
anything. Yeah,
half of them are gone.
Right.
So half the people have to step up and.
There's half of the demand for it, but still, it's just, I don't know.
Could you imagine, like, would you have to do like a bunch of rehousing then? I'm like, all right, well, we need to condense our electrical grid from like this down to this.
Sure, you have to
so like, sorry guys, but you're gonna have to move out or like move into the city.
Think of how much looting and stuff like that happened during the 5 years.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, half the people are gone.
Think about how
employ everyone.
All that stuff.
Stuff.
It's like half a zombie apocalypse in a way. Like, there's no more laws.
But like then the reverse of it, like where like everybody's like back to normal now. So, well, we just raided this person's house. 4 years ago.
Just the economy itself and the world itself wound down. Like, okay, we only need to function at this level, and then all of a sudden, there's
in an instant
4 billion more people, and it's like, whoa, we don't have enough food for all you guys, and like all the food that I was storing for myself, I need to give to you to feed you, and you didn't even have to deal with all this crap. Like,
I can see why there's hostility.
You can understand why Hayward would be hostile towards her, and like, okay, and then not only did all these people poof back into existence, now we have to take care of you again. Obviously, you're helping, but like, we need to like get the world back on its feet a second time. Now there's these superpowered people who, because of the blip, are freaking out and taking over towns, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I can completely see it from his point of view, even though he's, being portrayed as the bad guy. So
right.
I don't know.
So I had a theory, and I guess I've heard it from other people, so it's not really my theory. But the big cameo that's going to happen, I've heard is going to be Hawkeye, because of their scene in Endgame together, and how they would always be there for each other when. Sorry, technical difficulties. So all the costumes in this show were all generic. Yeah. There's no Disney costumes. I know. Disney owns so much. You'd think they put some kind of costumes in there.
Yeah.
But it was all generic.
Where do you think all the kids... Oh, no, he said he does ask that. Pietro asks where all the kids came from. And it sounds like she literally just keeps people in their beds asleep when she's not using them.
You think?
That's what he says. He said, where have all these kids been? I suppose it's easier to just keep them in their beds asleep, and so there's no need to traumatize them past what is required or something like that. He says that when he asks that question. So he asked the question where the kids have been, and then he kind of answers it himself. So
I
think he was just like pondering a guess of
maybe right. He answers the question himself. Wanda didn't answer it, but that makes sense. I mean, where else did the kids come from?
Part of me was reading into like the types of costumes though, because like obviously like there were some like clowns and like
Cobra Kai was there.
Was it?
There's 2 skull people when Vision goes to that block that has like the roundabout or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, thank you. There was 2 skeletons there, and it just reminded me of Cobra Kai.
See, I was thinking about that because throughout this episode, you actually see a number of kids wearing skeleton costumes. Like, and I know it's Halloween, but I'm like, are any of these kids like actually dead?
No, like, Cobra Kai.
No, I don't think so. There's all these theories, and it sounds cool. Like, oh, maybe they're in hell or something this whole time, or maybe this is happening. But I feel like the MCU is just gonna. It's gonna be something crazy, but it's not gonna be that crazy.
Well,
they're not gonna go towards. Oh, Mephisto's controlling everyone, and everyone's dead, and they're all in hell right now. Ah, like they're not gonna do that. It's the MCU.
So
they're trying. Again, this is not made for kids, but kids are watching it. It's on Disney Plus. And the future of the MCU going forward is kind of being dictated by what's happening in this show. So
this is opening up the multiverse.
Right.
So to
they're
speak.
going to take it in a direction that's not as crazy as some of the theories out there. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be Mephisto. I don't think Agnes is a witch. I think it's being hinted at, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be something completely different that we don't even know. Part of it is going to be Monica Rambeau being the Invisible Woman. I completely believe that.
So, funny you mentioned that. So when I was uploading my audio files to Anchor, in the details for that episode specifically, I gave you a lot of crap. I was like, please ignore Chris's weird theories on Invisible Woman.
You know, the funny thing is, like, in my notes...
Anywhere else.
I know, that's why it's so weird.
So, like...
You're the only person.
Jumping ahead, like, later on when they actually put down cells on a molecular level for, like, Monica Rambeau, I literally wrote down, made me nervous. I was like, no, you don't.
Well, she's clearly going to be superpowered, but then I think Darcy actually does say that your cells are mutating. Like, she doesn't say that?
No, they're mutating.
Oh, it doesn't.
They're just changing.
Oh, changing.
They've changed
I
on a
mean,
molecular
they're kind
level.
of the same, but...
Changing your cells, mutating, it's about the same. So... If she's not...
Potato.
It does show that, like, something's happening to people when they pass through that barrier, and that means the mutants are going to be coming in because of this.
I'm fully
100%.
This is...
Especially at the end there. There was a... at the end there when the bubble expands and they all turn into clowns in the circus. Love that.
But they don't show what happened to Darcy, which I thought was really cool.
Right.
Oh! Fudge!
Like the distorted, yeah. But in the first episode when Darcy pops up, she goes, "We got a full clown car." She says "clown car."
I know.
Total. I don't know. It's probably just a throwaway line and coincidence, but I'm like, man, if they did that on purpose,
show the coincidence.
If they did that on purpose, that's genius level writing.
I think these writers are genius. I honestly, we've been saying, I think every dialogue, every scene, everything in the background has a meaning. Whether the severity of the importance is different, obviously. But.
Yeah.
So, first time that they're on the street after the kids, or they start trick-or-treating, when he says, "Unleash hell, demon spawn." So, we get the whole back and forth between Wanda and Pietro. Why do you look so different?
Yeah, I love how Pietro... Well, Wanda asked this one, but their conversation back and forth was asking all the questions that we're wondering. And it's weird that, like, why does she ask, why do you look so different?
Right.
So, what do you think about Pietro?
Pietro knows he looks different, though, too, which is weird.
But
like, later on, you see, like, he has the same, like, memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has the same memories, but it feels like it's just Wanda's memories that she's putting onto him.
Yeah, so
You know
my
what I
theory
mean?
is that this is not Pietro at all.
It's just some random dude from the MCU.
Well, not some random dude. Again, I don't want to say it's Mephisto or some. I think it's some other.
I think it's introducing the multiverse, though.
I mean, part of me wants to believe that Pietro, because like what he says at the end, saying like your dead husband can't die twice or whatever. Like he doesn't know any of these facts that have been happening. Like he doesn't know that Vision died and has died twice, and he doesn't know that. And there's a couple other things that he doesn't know because he was dead. He shouldn't have the ability to know. So that makes me believe that he's someone else or something. Or maybe everyone in this world just has Wanda's memories from being tapped into her mind. But I don't know.
That would suck.
I hope, and I'm gonna just continue to believe that it's the Pietro from the X-Men universe.
That's what
I think it is.
Until it's proven different. Like, that makes the most sense. It's the simplest, it's the cleanest, and it's the craziest, like the coolest. I don't know. Why wouldn't they do that? Yeah. So, yeah. And I like how Quicksilver is the one asking the questions. Like, he's the one who asks about the kids. He's the one who says, "Where's your accent? Where's your accent?" Like, back and forth, you know. And the shot in the street. Oh, yeah. He's like, what you were saying. He's like, I got shot in the street, and then I heard...
For no reason at all.
Like a chump.
Then I got your voice. I heard your voice calling out to me, and now I'm here. It's like, whoa, that's super cryptic. What the heck does that mean?
Right.
I don't know.
He said, if I found Shangri-La, I wouldn't want to be reminded of the past either.
Yeah. Obviously,
so
the bubble is
he's comparing this to Shangri-La. I mean, this is her Shangri-La.
Yeah, the bubble is her own personal little heaven.
Right. Did you guys see that on like videos about that though? Like the Shangri-La reference?
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings?
Well, so in an early like golden age.
What if Shang-Chi shows up?
Golden Age of Comics version or Marvel comic. Shangri-La is a real place that was actually founded by like an early version of the Vision.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that where Doctor Strange learned his magic? Or
No. So that's why I said Golden Age version, because like this is before Stan Lee stepped in for like the character of the Vision.
Before then? Wow.
Because like apparently before Vision was an android, the original version of him was like a sorcerer kind of person.
Really?
Who like created Shangri-La, which like ended up helping out like these random like Japanese explorers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they introduced him into like the comics of like the Avengers and whatnot, Stan Lee's like, I don't want him to be that guy. Like, we should make him a robot because that was more popular, like a kind of popular thing at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shangri-La was a place founded by a version of the Vision.
Huh. Weird. Okay.
So that's why when he's like, if I had found Shangri-La, I wouldn't want to leave either. Like,
there's a little bit more to that.
Right?
Wow.
I thought it was weird when Herb just straight up asks, like, do you want something changed?
Yeah.
Same way Agnes did in like an earlier episode.
It's like they're all waking up in a way. Or
well, I don't know if waking up. I just asked, are the people just accepting their roles at this point?
Yeah.
Like,
probably.
well, we're kind of stuck here.
Especially
so yeah.
the active ones. I mean, dude, the ones on the edge of town. So it seems like I originally thought that the ones closest to Wanda were the active ones, but I think Wanda just stays in the center of town, and the center of town is active, and the sides are just always inactive.
Yeah, I think the farther you are away from Wanda,
well, I think it's the farther away from the center of town, because they say that in the show. Like, the further away from the center of town you get, the less active they are, or something like that. Which could just mean that that's where Wanda lives, is the center of town, but I don't know.
Or where Wanda was at Town Square.
Yeah, right. But
seeing that lady though, like trying to put up that ghost,
and then she was crying.
And she's crying.
That tear, holy crap!
Well, it's the same kind of pain that Norma was feeling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which I actually rewatching the previous episodes because of this, where like Wanda's not active in that like vicinity, made me realize that like maybe in the third episode when she ends up giving birth, that's why Herb ends up cutting into the wall.
Yes.
Because like he just straight up like loses
connection or whatever.
Yeah, and just keeps going.
For sure. Yeah.
I was like,
"Hey, buddy."
Yeah.
Push through the.
You taking that hedge trimming a little too far there. Oh, yeah. It seems I have, and just keeps going.
It's like, okay.
I saw something. Somebody made a reference to this So the closer, similar to video games, you think the closer that you are to Wanda's closing out, quote unquote, closing out different like apps in the phone, or like her reality to like draw more power towards
for
like
sure.
It's a loading screen essentially.
Yeah, I saw a post saying, "Oh my God, Wanda," or what was it? It said, "Oh my God, she froze hundreds of people to basically reduce load times."
Yeah,
like that's what she did. She's like, all these people are going at the end of the episode, and she's like, "Freeze! I need to focus all my CPU power on expanding this bubble." Like that's crazy.
Which sucks because like all those extra people are like, I know they're moving at that point because like she's literally just like everything is loading at once, but like. What happens to them? Are they just gonna like stay at the circus and not do anything?
They're just because they're on the edge.
Imagine if
and how much is it going to expand? I mean,
we don't know yet.
It just keeps going, and then the dreaded "please stand by" thing pops up, and I'm like, the episode's done already. What the heck?
Yeah, because we just see Wanda's eyes go back to normal.
Yeah.
So we know it stopped at some point.
Oh, okay.
So it probably didn't get too much bigger. I mean, it got bigger, but I mean, it's not. I don't think it consumed like an entire state or country or anything like that.
So when that lady was putting up that ghost, the video, I watched a like Easter egg video afterwards, and they only called her live action GIF.
The ghost? Oh yeah,
because she's literally just
back and forth.
And then the dude with the pumpkin in the background.
I noticed that too. I'm like, oh,
just
that
up
sucks.
and down.
Sets it
He's gonna have
down.
a back
picks it
injury
up.
after this.
Like, man,
He's gonna get swole.
He needs an aversion table.
Yeah. It goes back a week later. So this is a question. Do you think all these people are eating? Is she feeding them? Is she helping them eat?
Yeah, I think so. I think because she's like, I'm taking them to their dentist appointments. I'm walking their dogs. She's doing everything for.
Well, she said she's not, but that kind of means she is. Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay, that's kind of crazy.
So then we jump to the super creepy '90s commercial.
Yeah, that was.
I totally skipped any notes about that because I was like, don't know.
This one.
I saw a
really
weird
off.
theory on TikTok though.
I'm
really.
Like I said,
that the commercial is all about Billy.
I don't know.
I can show you the TikTok later.
So the commercial
really
popped on. And I'm so used to watching Hulu now, and the ads popping on, like, during the show, that as soon as the commercial popped on, I'm like, I don't have to focus on this. I pulled my phone out, and I'm like, wait a minute! No, this is part of the show! Because I'm so used to ads popping up.
I watch it straight on Disney Plus, so I'm just like, whatever.
Well, I know, I was too, but...
I don't watch Hulu, so I don't get commercials on anything.
Oh, I suppose. I'm just so used to commercials popping up in the middle and Malcolm in the middle and things like that, just
See, I go between Papa's Hulu and Dad's Hulu.
Yeah.
Dad has commercials and Papa pays for no commercials.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes, like when I'm watching on Dad's, I'm just like, stupid commercials. It's like, dang it.
There's so many commercials.
But again, he has live TV, so he gets more stuff than.
Oh, sure. But you
regular.
pay for
Right.
So yeah, we get the commercial for Yo Magic.
Yeah, Yo Magic, which
the
is kind
snack
of like
for survivors.
Yo Play or Go-Gurt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And man, the claymation thing was a huge thing back in the day. Went through a whole YouTube bunny trail of just all these old claymation 90s and early 2000s commercials. I'm like, wow, I forgot these existed.
I don't know why this popped into my head. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but because you said bunny trail, it just reminded me of one of my teachers who he would be like, talking about whatever we're talking about in class, and he's like, okay, I want to go and like, talk about something else for 1 sec, and so he would do a little bunny hop. And like, all right, just to do this little trail here, and you do like a little bunny hop. It was the funniest thing in the world.
Nice.
All right, anyways.
Oh man.
So yeah, like I saw something about this one being reference to the Soul Stone.
That's what I'm thinking, because all the other ones have been stones. So I'm like, this is the Soul Stone. It's the thing that you cannot like get on your own.
Right.
Like he's trying to open up the yogurt, and plus the Soul Stone is guarded by what?
The Red Skull.
The Red Skull, and the claymation dude turns into a skull
With a red shirt.
with the red shirt. Yeah, so it's a Red Skull guarding the Soul Stone. And it's also, so in Wanda's life, the only thing I could think of that it's referencing as like a traumatic experience in her life is she got put on the raft, like when the Sokovia Accords came, or whatever, after Civil War, she got imprisoned on the raft. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And then Tony Shark just flew off and did his own little thing. Get it? Because there's a shark in the commercial.
Continue.
That's the joke.
Oh, so not an actual theory?
No, it is.
Oh, I was like...
She was stranded on this raft and like kind of left alone in a way.
But like, well, she wasn't there by herself though.
Well, her brother's dead and she's like, doesn't...
There were like 4 or 5 other people.
I know, but I'm saying like her family, like, I can imagine how I would feel alone. Even if all these other people were with me, I'd feel like my life fell apart. I'm all alone. I'm stuck in prison. Tony Shark is going out there doing whatever he wants to do.
So later on when they reference the loneliness, I had to think about that. So this obviously takes place post Endgame, right? Mm-hmm. So at this point, Vision is dead. Captain America is an old man who's no longer part of the Avengers. Tony's gone. Hawkeye / Ronan is back with his family and like doing his own thing. I'm assuming because they don't really talk about that one.
Yeah.
He's training his daughter right now.
Thor has New Asgard. Who does she have left?
Well, Thor is off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm still saying like
nobody Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Hey-o! Anyways,
as far as the Avengers, yeah, there's
like
Doctor Strange,
but
Hulk.
Anyone she has had a connection with,
yeah,
is off doing something else or gone,
right.
Just dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
specifically, I put not so many members from Age of Ultron are still around.
Yeah, because isn't one to say like there was so much nothingness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
And then she created her Shangri-La.
So then we come back to the show with them walking out of the movie theater. Which did you guys catch the movies in the background?
Yeah. Incredibles and The Parent Trap.
Right.
Probably the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the 90s.
But it was very fitting. 2 siblings in the one movie, and then a family of superpowered mutants
who retire to the suburbs.
Good point. Very good point. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sherman. That's why we need you here.
That's why.
So Wanda tells her kids to not go past Ellis Avenue.
Which Vision just immediately proceeds to do.
I don't think he heard that conversation.
Yeah. I didn't understand why they were focusing so much on the street sign. I'm like, I didn't catch that line originally.
Oh.
So I'm like, why are you is this important? And I looked it up and I'm like, oh, they just referenced it before.
Like literally 2 minutes before this. But yeah, this is the whole like accent question like series.
Yeah.
And then like I put down he knows the quote unquote script concept. Like he's like, how do you like you're just doing all this? Like what's going on?
And I like how she's like, you don't think it's wrong? And he's like, no,
right.
I think it's cool. Whoa, okay.
Right. So Hayward found and kept quiet about a way to track everyone and Vision.
I don't know how they're tracking the other people. It explains how they're tracking Vision. Oh no, it does explain the other people. They're like, we can only see the people who are around Vision because
vicinity.
Yeah.
Well, no, because then they scrolled all the way to the edge of town, and then people were frozen.
It must be where their last were or something, or I don't know. But
do you think maybe because their cells are changing, they're able to like?
Maybe
no, because
Vision.
Darcy specifically says it's because they're in the close proximity, or Jimmy Woo, one of them says that to Vision,
and they're tracking his vibranium decay signature.
Right.
So vibranium is radioactive or decays somehow. That's weird. Okay.
So I thought this was kind of cool because as everyone else starts to like freeze the farther they are away from Wanda, Vision has no problem with it. Yeah. Even though like she still has somewhat control over like what he does, but like is he just becoming more autonomous?
That's what I think. He's slowly becoming more autonomous.
Now get this, I didn't think about this until after I I think I rewatched episode 2, but do you think because Wanda is creating an artificial reality, how that is like fighting against Vision's artificial intelligence? Like artificial intelligence is built to learn over time and like adapt to like its surroundings. So do you think like because he's a synthezoid that like that's why she can't control him with her reality bending powers?
Because he's half robot.
Because he changes.
Because his robotics was literally to adapt to his surroundings.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Sounds like the most mind-blowing theory, but it makes sense.
It still doesn't answer how he disintegrates when he leaves, though.
Right? Well, that's what I'm kind of... Because...
Well, we haven't gotten to that part. So he flies up, and then he sees a car just sitting at a stop sign, which I guess is by the border. And it's cool that you can kind of see the border all around. You're like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Well, one question I have is, how high do you think that hex goes? Do you think it just goes up forever, or... I don't know, it doesn't really say,
I think it's domed off somewhere?
It must be, but then he sees Agnes, and then Agnes says, basically, you're an Avenger, and you're dead. And then she's, you're dead! And this is the one time where I'm like, she doesn't seem like she's acting. She's not acting as an actor, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I feel like because she's finally woken up by him, I don't know. After this interaction, I'm like, I don't think she's actually Aunt Agnes or a witch.
I think she is, though, because when she says she got lost and took a wrong turn, he specifically asks,
in the town
you grew up in. Like, how... Okay, for any of us, especially think of like Agnes is in her like middle years, right? She's probably like 40, right? So at 40 years old, even at us, like right now, is there any chance you could possibly get lost in our town?
No, not at all.
I'm not lost for any length of time. There's been times where
but think about
you leave a house that you've been to and whatever, and then you drive and you're like, where the heck am I? Oh yeah, okay.
But think about like the size difference, like like Duluth is 86,000 people.
Yeah.
Like we have a huge amount of like
and this one's
area.
3,000 people. So
yeah, just shy of 4,000 people, and you're like a suburb.
Yeah. So
like, you really think anyone's gonna get lost?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. But I like the line where she's like, you're an Avenger, and he's like, what's an Avenger? I thought he said was an Avenger, and I'm like, well, that's weird. But then I watched it again. He says, no, what's an Avenger? He doesn't know.
Either one would be like.
Did you guys notice that Agnes, before Vision tapped on her eyes were tearing up?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think she was in pain,
They do
too.
so many good things with tears in this show. Like the tear shows that like there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Even Wanda, when she threw Monica out of the house and stuff, when she first threw her out, she was tearing up. Like there's a tear going down her face. I'm like, man, this is crazy. When Vision walks across Ellis Avenue and he's walking toward the barrier, they probably did this on purpose, but he just looks like he goes from like kind of fully colored and saturated or whatever, and then as soon as he walks out of the spotlight, he gets like decolored almost, and like so the further away he gets from the center of town, the less colorful he is.
I think the more reality looking he becomes.
Right. Yeah. And it wasn't a huge thing, but it just, I don't know, it was really good filmmaking, I guess, because it just showed his progression towards like back to what his reality is like, you are dead.
Well, not only that, but like, I was questioning more about like, why doesn't he use his powers? Because like, from where Ellis Avenue is to where that, like, because you can kind of see the static in the background.
I know. I was like, why not just
exactly?
Fly over there?
I'm like, dude, like
the
that's. Do you think like maybe he like can't because he's too far from Wanda?
No, I mean he just flew down to the corner of Ellis,
which is the other part that bugged me. Like when he flew down to like the street end. Why not just fly the extra like?
Yeah, I don't know.
What happens when you fly into the hex and then you can't get through and then you fall down, or whatever? You probably have more stability being on your feet trying to get through.
Well, I'm not saying, but I'm saying like, why not like fly to like the inside of the barrier instead of like walking the entire way? It's like if you could fly and like
he doesn't know the barrier is there until he's right next to it.
You can see it in the background.
I think that's why he's.
You
can see the
static.
I don't know. Filmmaking, it's hard to make him fly. I don't know. Who knows? It could be anything. But, so then, so Vision being, should we talk about that? Him leaving the bubble and.
We're almost there.
Yeah, because then we switch over to them looking through
Monica's cells.
Because when Darcy hacks in to Hayward's files, I was like, all right, so that was like the fastest hack in like Hollywood history. Just
knows his login info.
I know. Is his password guessed?
Her DNA's changed. She went through the barrier twice, and
he's got medical files.
A third time, we don't know what's going to happen, and Monica's just like, I don't care. We're just going to go bed.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
And she talks about she talks about the aerospace engineer, and she says like my guy or whatever again.
So it's a guy.
Well,
Reed Richards.
it could just be like, oh, my guy. Like I've seen some people say.
But
that.
if a girl said, it'd be like my girl.
I've seen some people say like, oh, my guy. It could be a gender neutral term, but
see,
it's kind of weird.
I saw something about that because apparently in episode 4, when she's like, oh, I've got an aerospace engineer who would be great for this. Apparently in the Portuguese version, like the translation translates into a female.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that job title is the female
yeah.
version of it.
So, the theory was that Disney noticed that prior to posting this episode, so they switched it to guy, so that it would just be like a gender neutral term. Because in like the other translations, it's a.
You think they did a reshoot last week?
I don't think they did a reshoot. Just
ADR, something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really, 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 really hoping it's Reed Richards and it's John Krasinski. I always forget how Krasinski.
So here's where it feeds into my theory that Pietro is not Pietro.
Okay.
So he basically is, asking about where all the kids came from in this scene.
Yeah.
And he just showed up like last night.
Yeah.
He didn't know there was no kids. And then he also doesn't know that his husband died twice at the end later. So it just further feeds into my theory that I don't think Pietro's Pietro. Because the way Wanda snaps at him after he says that last thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
instant eyes red.
You wouldn't do that to your brother.
Right.
Like, even if you just said something odd like that, you wouldn't do that. She had a feeling that something was off about him.
Yeah.
That's what I read from that.
Well, I like when he...
Because he even said, I'm not a stranger. I'm not your husband, which you would confide in the most. You can tell me.
Well, sometimes you'd confide
like
in your siblings the most for some things. I don't know.
Okay, would you confide in Rosie or me the most?
Depends on what it is, I guess. Mostly Rosie, but I don't know.
So
if I kill somebody or something, I'd be like, I'm probably gonna kill Dustin.
He knows what to do. I'll be over with my kit.
My kit? He has a kit ready to go. Another
like duffel bag in the trunk. I'm not a serial killer, by the way.
See, I also think I think it is Pietro, but I think he wasn't put there by Wanda either. I think it just kind of reality set in and her memories kind of sunk in. Because when he walks, and I know this is once again reaching, and you don't agree with this theory, but when he says Westview, New Jersey looks as charming as hell.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people comment on that line, charming as hell. See, Mephisto. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hold on, that. So there's so many things that are pointing towards that, but Monica Rambeau is the Invisible Woman. That's the. Seems like our.
That theory... seems obvious to me. The fact that this is hell. I'm like, okay, that's not. They're not going to do that. They're not. They're just not. They're going to make her Invisible Woman. They are going to do that.
I can't wait to get $10 from you at the end of this series.
2 more weeks.
I know.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the Project Cataract?
I liked it. There's a good name for it. I mean, it's all cataract has to do with your vision.
That's why.
A blurred vision too.
Right. Yeah. Ooh.
What?
Cataracts are usually something that blurs your vision.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I'll preach, brother.
This is why you're here, Sherman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have another note. So when Pietro is, talking to Wanda about where all the kids and dead husband and stuff, the only 2 things he says that I think is the most real thing for him is when he said, when Wanda sees him dead or whatever, he's like, "You okay?" He doesn't say it in any accent. He doesn't say it in the way he's been speaking this whole episode. At least that's what it appeared to me.
Yeah.
Those were the only 2 things he said that actually felt like it was actually him, not Wanda controlling him or something.
I like that he specifically talks about the fact that it's a TV show. When he says that you bring him the occasional holiday episode cameo.
Yeah.
So it made me think is he going to be leaving soon then?
Right. I think he might be done after this, after he got blasted.
No, he's still alive, isn't he?
I know, but I don't think he's featured on that.
Oh, maybe.
Well, I mean, with how this episode ends, who knows where...
Well, your sister just blasted your brother. I'm assuming they're probably not on the best terms right now.
But yeah, and then she, well, you don't think it's wrong, but like she didn't know how it all started either. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what also makes me think like the whole Mephisto thing, because like, she doesn't know how it started, but like she's just working on it. Like, do you think she might just be like a battery?
So, Kevin Feige said he's going to be doing more Avengers movies in the future. Mm-hmm. So, do you think they're trying to set up the next big bad? Like Thanos was the big bad for the first 23 movies. Do you think they're trying to set up maybe Mephisto or maybe some other big bad as the next big villain for a certain amount of time?
I think they're going to hint at it, yeah.
In this show,
so if it is Mephisto, which I don't think they're going to, but if it is, this is a really good way to set it up. Right. I don't think they're going to name him in this because I feel like Disney, if they're going to do something like that, they're using the fans and our reaction to this and the conversation about Mephisto to kind of warm people up to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. So they don't have to just show all the stuff. They're letting us like warm our own ideas.
They're trying to see how we feel about it before they
for sure.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Well, but that's...
And now that it's getting good reception, I think they will.
Well, and especially with like how other like pop culture, TV shows have done it. Like, I don't think it's that far of a stretch. Because, I mean, like, Supernatural had a huge following. Mm-hmm. People loved, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Charmed. I know. Like, the Supernatural, like, genre in general is, like, huge.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I can see a 8-year-old kid running around with a toy Thanos. I can't see a majority of 8-year-old kids running around with a toy devil. You know what I mean? Like... Disney has to make it marketable. That's the only reason why I don't think...
They could change the way Mephisto looks a little bit. Yeah. Like, make him red, but not make him look as demonic or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they made Jared Leto look,
PG.
Kind of like the Joker.
Yeah. So let's talk about Vision being sucked back in. What the heck is going on with that?
So
he's disintegrating. Right. I've seen all these people say, like, oh, he's reverting back to what he looked like when he got snapped. I'm like, no, he's not. He's getting worse. Like, his body's tearing apart. When he got... the gem taken out, he just looked the same. He just
if we remember from the sword footage, he was in pieces.
Right.
So Wanda resurrected him back. So I think once he's out of Westview, he's back to body parts.
I thought it was kind of funny that like as he's walking into the barrier at the very beginning, before like he starts disintegrating, did you guys see the look on his face?
He's like...
So no, like it wasn't as painful, but it looked like I said it's... his face was almost like it looks when you start getting a headache, like a migraine almost.
Yeah, okay.
Is that when the energy field started pulling him out too?
Like no.
When he was walking towards it, the field was also drawing him out too.
I didn't notice that.
Well,
it looked like it was coming towards him.
So when he's walking towards the field, the static is moving towards him.
Yeah,
and
it's
when he goes through, it's pulling him back in.
Weird.
Watch it again.
I did notice that.
Okay.
But that's what I was like, why would, like, his literal, like, head is, like, starting to, like...
Yeah. Well, okay, one thing, the Mind Stone is there.
Right.
It looks like it's recreated right there. The Mind Stone's back.
Because this episode, it glows a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think Wanda resurrected the stone? She does have the ability.
Yeah, I don't know. She either found it again... Or,
she has the power to destroy it and create it, I think.
Because it's not destroyed. It's not anymore. Well, no, it is. It is, because Thanos destroyed the stones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always forget the timeline, because it's like the stones were here, then they went here, then they went back, and yeah, I gotta remember. But
he took them back to the appropriate times, but in this timeline, they are destroyed.
All the stones are destroyed.
See, and that's...
But I think Wanda does have the ability to resurrect that one specific stone. Because that's where a majority of her powers come from.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it actually the Mind Stone, or did she just make him look like that? Just put a little glowy thing on his head. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. That is hard to say. But so him being pulled back in, I almost just... It was almost like just a leash to me. It wasn't so much that he was going to die or something like that. It was just like, no.
Wanda didn't even know about it, though.
Yeah,
until Tommy told him. Or
Billy.
But it was just weird that she didn't know about it. And he was like, pieces of him were coming off. It just...
I think because he was animated and he's outside of that reality, I don't think he's going to exist.
But everything else that's come out of that reality stayed in its form. You know what I mean?
Vision was created in this reality. Her kids were created in this reality. Mm-hmm. Everyone else wasn't.
Monica Rambeau's clothes were created in that reality.
that they were altered to fit the reality.
So was Vision. He was an inanimate object that was altered
that
to
was
fit
dead.
her reality. I know, but to fit her reality.
So no, so that's what we're saying though. He's still gonna be dead outside of the reality.
Yeah, but you think so? If I took a dead thing and I put some clay around it, I don't know. I took a bottle and I put some clay around it and made it look like a face. This is a weird example, and then it goes outside of my reality. It'd still have the clay around it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Why was the clay being sucked back in when Monica Rambeau, her inanimate clothes, didn't start disintegrating and turning back into a bulletproof vest?
Because they were not created in the Hex.
It was altered. Is that what you're saying?
No. Vision and the two kids were the only things created in that Hex. When they leave the Hex, they do not exist anymore. Everyone else was outside the Hex and brought in, or to some degree.
Well, so was Vision. Vision was outside. He got brought in
And reanimated.
and then reconfigured, just like the bulletproof vest was brought in, reconfigured into clothes, and then brought out, and it didn't disintegrate. How
the
come
clothes got brought back out?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, a vest.
I understand
a vest
your
went
argument.
in, changed, came back out, and it's fine. Some electronics went in, changed, came back out, and disintegrated. It's just weird to me. Like there's something else going on there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reading.
No.
But,
I kind of get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I think we'll see what happens next episode.
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah.
because that happens towards the end of the episode, so it's really hard to gauge what's
I think this whole reality has been created by Wanda for her and Vision, and because Vision left, it's like a leash or like an electronic tracking bracelet or something that's like, you need to come back in. Like it's a magnet pulling him back in. I think if he would have just laid there and she didn't expand the bubble, I think that he would have eventually just sucked back
also
in.
tough part is Monica was forced out.
Right.
Like Wanda straight up
threw her out
evicted
instead of
her
being
from the
chosen.
reality. But Vision tried to leave forcefully.
Good point. Good point.
Also, I did know.
Okay.
I saw this on a video, but
Seen
I
that. Yeah.
didn't even think about it at first. So when he falls to the ground outside of the field, the exact same, I don't know if they planned it this way, but he falls the exact same way that he does when his body hits the ground in Infinity War. Goes to the knees and then
Okay.
the exact same
Like when he gets stabbed or whatever.
No. When his head the stone gets ripped out of his head, he falls to the ground the exact same way.
I thought Thanos throws him.
Thanos
and then he
throws
rolls,
him and he
then he
rolls.
Oh
lands on
no!
his
I'm
back.
sorry. I mean, I'm talking about when Wanda crushes it.
Oh,
He falls to the
okay.
ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, Thanos tossed
Sorry,
him
he
around.
dies twice in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the span of 30 seconds.
I don't know. I think that's just coincidence. If you're on your knees
So-
and you die, you're gonna fall over it. I don't know. But
Right.
I don't know. That's kind of all I have for this episode. It was.
Yeah. There's the whole scene with Wanda and Pietro at the end, though.
So yeah, this is where he's like, "What? Your dead husband can't die twice."
Oh yeah. Mhm.
But so this moment when she freezes everybody, did you guys notice that Tommy and Billy don't stop moving?
No. I didn't
Super
notice.
tiny.
That's
you
cool.
kind of had to look for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Before they she does the whole thing when
Yeah.
everybody freezes, they
Puts
still
them all in the
move.
shutdown mode.
And then when she uses her powers to expand the bubble or the hex, there's a three white light and kind of thing in the middle. She's holding on to her kids to it's almost like all three of them are using powers at the same time.
Huh.
Or she's using them to amplify her own powers. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Dustin, you got anything else?
No.
No? Sherman?
No,
This
it's
episode.
just everybody turns into a circus. I'm just kind of curious what's going to happen to Darcy
Yeah.
now that she's been put into the field. Should
yeah,
be in the
because,
show?
Well, because all these people are their DNA is being altered. I'm like, we're gonna get a lot of mutants, and Darcy's gonna be a mutant. That's exciting.
Yeah, because I don't really know any comic book parts for Darcy if she has a comic counterpart.
I don't think so.
Not that I've heard.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for this episode.
Right.
Cool. Dustin, you want to take us out?
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phandom Knights, our coverage of episode 6 of Wandavision. It's been pretty crazy. Pretty excited for the next episode. But please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast on Spotify and Apple. Look forward, please, Chris. Thank you. Subscribe to YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please keep looking forward, Chris. Thank you. And that'll be it. Thank you, guys.
Okay. See you next time. Okay.